Dune 2 is now just a couple of weeks away. A movie that was supposed to be out months ago, of course, got delayed because of the writer and actors strike. They couldn't have their people going out to promote the film, all that kind of stuff. We got it. They moved it. It's coming out soon. You know, last night, Ann and I went to the local IMAX to watch Dune 1 again. Man, that movie gets better every time I see it. I cannot believe what a master's hand Denis Villeneuve has. Like, it's steeped in this rich mythology, like layers and layers of mythology and character development and political backstabbing and intrigue. It's just glorious. And Dune 2 is going to be like wall-to-wall. I take all that and add wall-to-wall combat and action and thrills and all that kind of stuff. And I cannot wait to see this movie. Well, last night at the French Theater in Paris, the Theater Grand Rex in Paris, Denis Villeneuve went out there and took out his little film Dune 2 to show to the first public audience. And the first reactions to that screening have come out. And let's just say they're pretty damn good. One viewer said, "I'm so grateful to be alive just to see this, to have the chance to see a film like this. It is hard to describe." Another viewer said, "I wish all future science fiction films the best of luck for the next decade, as this one sets the bar so high. Truly exceptional." The next wrote, "This film stands head and shoulders above 95% of Hollywood productions." The next says, "Dune 2 is powerful and epic. There is so much going on. It's an apotheosis on every level. I can't believe what I just took in the face." The next one wrote,
Wait. Did they have the popcorn bucket? Were they using the popcorn bucket?
Were they using the Dune popcorn bucket?
All up in the face.
Woo! The next one said, "Bigger, more epic, more intimate." Also talking about the popcorn bucket.
This is definitely not about the movie.
Guys, stick to the movie, not the popcorn bucket.
Denis Villeneuve delivers his second opus that elevates the Dune saga to the ranks of the greatest modern sci-fi blockbusters. The next one wrote, "Denis Villeneuve's promise have been kept. Dune 2 is powerful, epic, and even more grandiose." The next says, "I wasn't a big fan of the first Dune, but part 2 was something else. I was blown away by the film's epic and grandiose." But look,
And that popcorn
can take
bucket.
from the other one.
Okay,
Next one
don't even
says-
read this.
What's it? You want to read this one?
No, I said you shouldn't read
No,
this one.
read it.
Okay.
Read it. Here we go.
Here we go. "I don't know what to say after this big slap in the face, but long live cinema. Long live Denis Villeneuve, and long live the perfection that is this film."
Well, at least we know.
Yeah.
At least we know what material the thing is made of.
Another viewer wrote, "Dune Part 2 is just as impressive as Part 1, if not more so. It's February, and we've already got the best blockbuster of the year. Unbeatable." And then the final one I'll read here is, "The perfect film exists, and it's called Dune Part 2. Denis Villeneuve, thank you for existing. You are the king." And I'll do one last one. "Dune 2 is the masterpiece we've been waiting for. The film alternates brilliantly between intimate scenes and the mind-blowing action scenes, more present here than in the first one. Chalamet's charisma shines through. Villeneuve further establishes Dune in the legend." Anyway, it's on and on and on and on. People were losing their minds on this. People are losing their minds on this. There was one reporter who said, now I can't verify this one there, but that Zendaya was saying, "The only bad thing about this movie is that I'll know I'll never be in a movie better than this one for the rest of my career."
Oh, dang.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, after the Dune movie was done last night, Dune 1, that Ann and I watched, they showed like a 15-minute presentation.
The riding of the worm.
They showed that scene, and then they showed a whole bunch of like behind-the-scenes stuff. But the riding of the worm scene, like my heart was beating fast, and I was like, grip it. First of all, Javier Bardem as Stilgard is so good. He's so good in this role. Like, I was just watching him again last night, and even in that last scene, he's like, "Peace, peace, woman, peace." I'm just like, this dude, he speaks his lines, and they flow like butter. It's so good. And then seeing him talking to Timothée Chalamet in that the worm riding thing is, "Seriously, nothing fancy. Don't embarrass me." Like,
I love that line.
It's great.
Oh
but
my
the
God.
sound design in that scene.
You know what?
Dude.
Anne was pointing out the exact same thing.
I told you guys when I saw it.
The sound design is crazy. Like this thing, and then the battle sequences coming up in Dune 2 that they showed in the behind the scenes stuff. It was, you know what it reminded me of? This is the first time I think I've ever said this. It reminded me of the scale and visceral feel of Braveheart. And I haven't felt that in a long time. It looks great. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Fume. Have you ever tried to break a bad habit and felt like you're climbing uphill? Yeah, we've been there too. But here's a breath of fresh air. Fume. It's not about giving up, it's about switching up. Fume takes your habit and simply makes it better, healthier, and a whole lot more enjoyable. Fume is an innovative, award-winning flavored air device that does just that. Instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. And instead of harmful chemicals, Fume uses delicious flavors. You get it? Instead of bad, Fume is good. It's a habit you're free to enjoy and make replacing your bad habit easy. Your Fume comes with an adjustable airflow dial and is designed with movable parts and magnets for fidgeting, giving your fingers a lot to do, which is helpful for de-stressing and anxiety while breaking your habit. I'll be honest with you guys, I was a little uncertain about it until my package arrived and I tried it. I couldn't believe how perfectly balanced it is, how fun it is to have in your hands, and how great the actual flavor was. Plus, Fume just released a magnetic stand for your Fume, so there's no more losing it around the house. So start the year off right with the good habit by going to tryfume.com/Campea and getting the journey pack today. Fume is giving listeners of the show 10% off when they use my code Campea to help make starting the good habit that much easier. Rob, what are you making of the comments we're hearing coming from the first public audience that saw it, and where's your expectation level right now?
Well, my expectation, this is my most eagerly awaited movie. This and Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis, but this for sure. I mean, you know, I read this book when I was 10 years old for the first time, and I've read it many times since. And dude, I can't wait for this. And by the way, I just want to point out on this channel, we have the interview I did with Greg Fraser, the cinematographer
of Dune.
And it was funny because he says in the interview, he says, you know, I just saw Dune 2, like put together for the first time. And he's like, it's better than the first movie. And it was like, he shot it, you know, and he was sitting there going, no, you don't understand. And even the guy who shot every frame of the movie, was blown away by it. And I'm like, and this was not hyperbole. This was truth. And of course, the subject matter, there's a lot more going on in this. You've got the Padishah Emperor, you've got Princess Irulan, you've got, of course, the Harkonnens, you've got the Atreides, you've got the Fremen, there's war. Paul he launches his jihad against the Harkonnens.
The Jesuit.
Yeah, all that, the Bene Gesserit sisterhood and all that. So it is, and what's really interesting is to now know that they're going to make Dune Messiah, where Paul Atreides is responsible for the deaths of billions. I just can't wait. I mean, I think that this was what I was told they were going to do from the beginning, that they were going to make 3 Dune films, and I think that there was some after the first movie, but now they're back to what they were going to do initially, which is going to be, I've heard it was going to be Dune Prophet, and then Dune Messiah. It says it's Dune 1, 2, 3. But John, I don't think that my expectations could not be higher. They're the highest they've ever been. Only because I love my verisimilitude, and Denis Villeneuve in Dune gave us the greatest verisimilitude in any science fiction movie ever made. And I expect that, and I just want to hear what it sounds like, because the sound mix in Dune, best I've ever heard. This should be better.
Ever since I saw that re-release at the Chinese theater, I think you got to go to the Chinese theater.
Oh yeah, dude.
If you guys want to go, like I'll bring Isabel.
A worm bucket?
Well,
Okay. So,
No, but
no bucket.
In all actuality, I saw Dune at the Steve Ross Theater on the Warner Brothers lot, and it was the single greatest sounding thing. And Denis Villeneuve knows how to do that. Blade Runner 2049 was the same way.
yeah.
The sound design, and I don't even know how they do. I don't know how they record Hans Zimmer's score to make it sound like it's being performed in front of you. Like it's you heard it like at the very beginning of Dune. You hear
It's chilling.
Yeah.
It's chilling.
What's that opening line? It says, dreams are messages from the deep, or something like the first words that come out, and you hear blah, blah, blah. It's like there's something like eerie and
I was saying, even when in the first movie, when you see the Imperial Army and you've got like that officer and he's doing the hand symbols, but it's like that rumbling. And
What are they called again?
Sardaukar.
Sardaukar.
Sardaukar warriors.
We are Sardaukar. The Emperor commands. It shall be done.
I mean, dude, I can't wait. And it's almost 3 hours. It's like 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Dude, I'll tell you what. I watched that movie again last night, and it flew by.
Yeah.
So I know that like Chris has said like, oh, why it just was kind of like long and whatever. But the only time she's ever seen it was at home. And when I realized that, I'm like, you know what? When you see it at a theater,
dude,
it's a different experience.
You're in such
experience.
a mood because you have the sound effects and the music kind of coalesce, and so yeah, it's kind of long and drawn out, but you're into it, you know.
And you know, some people
just immersed.
Like some people will say, oh, I don't know, I kind of found the first Dune boring. Different things appeal to different people.
Sure.
And like if you're not the type of person that like layers of mythology and stuff like that, like if that doesn't get your blood pumping, then yeah, I could see that. Then this may not be for you. But like, I love that kind of stuff. So everything from even the casual conversations with the Fremen house servants to all that kind of stuff, they just kept adding layers to the mythology. And I eat that stuff up. And now you culminate all that in Dune 2 and with the battles and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Remember, I always say this, action without narrative purpose is visual noise. Right? Action without narrative purpose is visual noise. Because now you go into, like, that's why the choreography of the fight between Vader and Luke in the Emperor's throne room in Return of the Jedi isn't the best fight choreography in the world. But it's the best fight scene ever because of the story that's in there. You know, the dynamics. And now when we see the action in Dune 2 being held up by all that rich mythology and story that got told in the first one, I think it's just going to add to the thrill and the epicness of it.
Well, it's funny, like you point out, there's 2 shots in Return of the Jedi of that fight scene. One is when Luke raises up and the camera's focusing right at him with his lightsaber, and then the silhouette shot when the camera's underneath the stairwell and they're fighting across. It's a 50-50 of the two of them fighting. Those 2 shots alone are all you really need with the choral score, with Williams' score rising up. Well, Dune is like that the whole time. You know, the music and the sound effects, you don't know where one ends and the other begins. I mean, it is a real triumph of true cinema, that film. And I know a lot of people, it doesn't have the easy goodness that a great action scene might have. But like you said, it's the gestalt of Dune. It's the overall feel of it all. You talk about movies being experiential events. Yeah. There is no movie that is more of an experiential event than Dune, and I would imagine Dune 2 is even more of the same. This goes to 11.
Cannot wait. I cannot wait. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.